Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. My name is Rachel of The Crafted Life and I'm here today with a different type of video, and that it's a how-to, but it's for how to plan a road trip, a cross-country road trip, because now I have driven across the country 5 times. One of those times was by myself, so I've gathered a lot of experience, a lot of tips that I wish I knew before I started, and I'm going to share those with you today. So let's just get right into it. Starting off with tip number 1, it's first and foremost, get your car checked before you leave. You want your safety to be your top priority on this trip. As much as seeing things is probably second priority, number 1 is your safety always and first. So get that oil changed, get your tires rotated, windshield wipers, all your fluids, anything that goes into a car, make sure that it is in tip-top shape for your safety. Another thing to keep in mind is you will be driving long stretches of highway, and oftentimes there will not be a rest stop, a rest area, a gas station, things like that for 60 miles, maybe more than that, depending on where you are. So you want your car in great working shape, and then you also might want to consider a AAA membership. If you do break down or if you do have trouble, they'll come tow you, and an added bonus is that you would get a discount on your hotels, probably about 10%. So keep that in mind, get that car in working order before you pull out of the driveway. Now, speaking of your car, you don't want to overpack it when you leave, right? So this is for a few different reasons. The first being, what if you want to buy something? Where is it going to go? And then the second, probably more important than that, is that when you pull into a hotel at night and you unload everything from your car to bring it in, you don't want it to take an hour. You don't want it to be a pain. You just want it to be efficient as possible. And also, while you're driving, you want to be able to locate anything that might be important to you instead of going through a big pile of nonsense. So definitely be strategic about your packing and make sure your car has an order that you can stick to the whole trip. Now, that being said, you want to make sure to pack your essentials when it comes to medicine. There will be times that a hospital or a CVS, Walgreens, any pharmacy will not be within reach of you. It might not be even for an hour or more. So anything that you might need to keep yourself healthy and safe, pack that, even if you might not use it. I mean, I got sick recently and we had to drive at least an hour just to get Dayquil, and we're very lucky that we had it at that stop. So definitely pack anything to keep yourself healthy along the road. When planning your route, it helps to pick the big cities first and those must-see items, and then go back in and see how many hours you want to drive a day. This will help you discover those smaller cities along the way that you might not fly to necessarily to visit on their own, but they're definitely worth stopping in. There's so much to see and so many amazing cities throughout the entire country that it is worth exploring the smaller cities as you go. It also helps if you only want to drive 6 hours that day and there's no other city, there might not be another hotel. So definitely keep that in mind. Plan your route and research as much as possible before you go. That way you're not stranded anywhere and you are making the most of your time on the road. Now, if you can, give yourself enough time while planning. So even though you might be driving for those 6 hours, with stops that could turn into 8 or 9, depending on what you're stopping to see along the way, depending on if there's a wait for a restaurant, any of those things could add a lot more time to your trip than just the total drive time. So keep that in mind when planning driving in between each city. You also want to avoid burnout. So if you're going to be in the car for a while, the most I've done, I think I've done 6 weeks on the road, and your body will feel it. You will feel it, and you definitely feel it more as you age. So keep that in mind. Get out, take those breaks, take those stops, take those rests, but plan that into your travel time so that you don't feel behind on what you're doing. We are a big fan of thrift stores and antique malls, and we found that the antique stores along the way were really great stops. They helped us stretch our legs. We bought some fun things for our house that we will remember from the road trip, and they often will have a bathroom. So What's not to love about shopping with a bathroom? Timing is actually very important for the trip. If there's a landmark or something you want to see, definitely know when it closes that day. You don't want to show up with the last 10 minutes of the day before it closes and have to leave. You want to get that full experience. So if there's something that has a closing time on your route, definitely make sure that your timing either to that place or from that place syncs up with the rest of your trip. All right, we're a little outside of Vegas and we drove to 7 Magic Mountains.
Magical.
Colorful.
7.
A huge helpful little bonus tip here is keep time zones in mind. You will experience time changes across the country, and in some ways driving to the West Coast from the East Coast is a little easier because you get an extra hour as you go. Coming back, you're going to be rushing against the clock, so keep those time zones in mind. If you're not camping along the way and you're going to be staying in hotels, definitely be sure to enroll in like a rewards program. So we used IHG on our honeymoon when we went to Italy, and I have videos on that on my channel, but we also were able to use it in the States, and we stayed at Holiday Inn Expresses along the whole way really, and we got a few nights free as we were traveling. So that was a great help to our budget. So definitely enroll in a rewards program as much as you can. They're free. Why not? Another thing to check out is an app called Hotel Tonight, and that will give you discounted hotel rates as you're traveling. I think they do up to 100 days in advance for booking, but it's really great to use the night of for those super discounted rates that you can get. If you don't have the app, I'll put a link down below so that you can check it out and see that. Another thing, your AAA discount will probably give you 10%. The walk-in discount, if you just walk into a hotel, and even at the end of the night you will get a 10% off discount most times, don't quote me on that. And another phrase that Ryan does, or Ryan has used for us as we are traveling, because I am too anxious to say it, but it is the phrase, is that the best you can do? And oftentimes you might get that same AAA discount if you don't have AAA membership, those sorts of things. So those are just all things to keep in mind. We want you to travel and be safe, but we also want you to save some money as you do it. So definitely be sure to check all of those out. All right, so day 1 of the road trip is done.
Hooray!
Yeah, we did it. We drove about 6 hours or so from New York today. We were really kind of in the car for 12.
Well, we left at 10:30 and we got here at 8:30.
Yeah. So we don't piddle. We really are efficient with driving.
We're good travel buddies.
We're great. No, but really we stopped at like an antique store along the way to like stretch our legs, look at junk, that sort of stuff. So that was really fun. And now we are in a sketchy motel.
Right. Stop and look at junk. Come and stay in junk.
Beautiful. But there really isn't anything else around. We're kind of in the middle of nowhere, Pennsylvania, kind of on the border of Pennsylvania and Ohio. And then the plan for tomorrow is to get up and go to Ann Arbor, which is only about like a 4-hour drive. So not bad at all. I think we can do it in 12 hours.
Yeah, we should. Should get there by next week. So.
Yeah. So wish us luck, and I will report back from Ann Arbor, I guess now, in the video. I don't know how this is going to be edited.
Yeah, it's going to be, we'll see. This video is going to be 12 hours long, so.
Yeah, so here we go. Just a quick update. Remember that sketchy hotel that I alluded to earlier? Well, we found blood on our mattress. I don't know if you can see this. Where is this?
It's dry.
It's dried. There's blood on the mattress, and I feel like, I don't know.
Celebrating.
Road trips are great.
Night.
Day 1, ready for day 2.
Night.
And I can't make this up. I think we just found urine.
What's that?
Let us know. Is this urine?
It's a new game we're going to be playing.
Answer in the comments below.
Is it blood or
this
urine? Can't be a road trip without staying in a few sketchy hotels.
for entertainment on the road trip, it helps to download your music and podcast before you leave. And it helps because you want to save on data if you're using your maps the whole time. But also there are areas of the country where you might not get great cell reception and you still want music. So download it before you leave. Another thing to keep yourself entertained on the road is have your passenger or your co-pilot look up information about where you are or where you're going, and maybe you can learn a little bit more about the geography or a city or just what is around you and what you're looking at as you're driving. You want to pack meals, you want to pack snacks, pack water, and bring your tumbler for free coffee and tea at the hotels. You don't want to stop and buy a water or beverage every time you go to the gas station. You're going to be dehydrated that way. You're going to spend a lot of money that way. So definitely bring either a water bottle or bottles of water to have in your car. Again, long stretches of road, there might not be rest stops, or if you break down, you definitely want to stay hydrated while you're out there on the road. There are also really lovely rest areas with picnic benches and trees that you can just have a meal outside. You don't always have to go through a drive-through, especially, if you're on the road for a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, whatever, your body will start to feel that. So don't be afraid to go into a town and go to the grocery store and make something for lunch that day or eat it at a rest area as you are driving through. I highly recommend getting a personal size cooler for your car. This is great for drinks and for snacks. And then you can bring it into your hotel at night, put your items in the fridge that need to be cold, and then in the morning, fill this up with ice from your hotel ice machine, and you are ready for the day. Now, while you're on the road, it's best to keep in mind why you're taking the trip, and that is for experiences. So go as local as much as you possibly can. There are of course times that you just need to pull off the highway and eat. There are other times where you should go into a town and eat at a local spot and see the local stores and just get involved with those communities as you are driving across the country and experiencing life maybe in a different way from where you live. There are sites like Road Trippers, which will help you find those fun things across the country, like the world's biggest rocking chair, or who knows what the hell is out there. I've driven across the country 5 times, and I think every time has been different. So there's always something new to see and experience, and it is absolutely worth getting out of your comfort zone to have those experiences. Alright, so those were my tips for traveling across the country. If you did find them helpful, please like this video. And if you have any questions, just let me know in the comments below. I'm happy to help however I can. Safe travels on your trip. I hope it is awesome.